Hey, it's Brett Knowles here from PM2 Consulting. I'm just going to give you a really quick overview of OKRs. I know there are many other videos out there. This is meant to be just a super quick overview, just to make sure everyone's aligned to their thinking. So the principle's simple. We should be able to take any organization's mission, vision, values, and cascade it down to our strategic objectives, tactics, and tasks. So what that looks like is getting that vision and figuring out what do we need to do this year for the next 5 years to achieve this overall vision, then cascade that down to say what do you do this quarter, and then basically answer the question as measured by what would be a key result that would tell us if we're moving towards this quarterly objective. And then finally, of course, beneath there somewhere are the activities you do. Now, it's important to note that this is a logical cascade, but there's a time frame to it too. So this top level is long term, 5, 10, 20 years. This is this year, what we expect to do this year, and, reasonable expectation that will continue on for, say, 5 years. Then beneath that, obviously, is this quarter, and then finally, today. So that's the cascade, and OKRs are focusing on this portion of it, the middle portion. Now, there are many tools out there that cover the overall thing, balanced scorecard and so forth. This is looking at that quarterly drumbeat, and we feel that's super important these days with just the ever-increasing pace of business. So how does it look? Well, basically it's just a verb, a specific noun, the key result, the target, and date. So say, for example, we're running a call center and our objective is to reduce customer downtime, right? They're going to call us if they've got a problem with their application. So the key result as measured by would be call to closure cycle time. So if you follow the colors, right, the verb is reduce, the specific noun is customer downtime. And this is describing the impact, the benefit to the customer, not the output, the task you do, but what is the benefit? Key result in this case is call to closure cycle time, from the time we pick it up to the time it's resolved. Target is 4.5 minutes, and the date in this case is Q1. So in this example, Q2, we're going to shave a bit of time and get it to 4 minutes. Then a miracle happens in Q3. We're going to get that down to 2 minutes, and then shave a bit more in Q4. So that's an OKR. Now, most OKRs can only get executed if you work cross-functionally. So in this case, we need some help from human resources. What they're going to do is cross-train our operators. So let's say our call center supports 10 products. In Q1, every operator will be trained and certified in 2 products. By the end of Q2, 4 products. The end of Q6, 6 products. And by the end of Q4, 10 products. We also need IT to help out. What they're going to do is program the PBX, the phone switch, so that when the caller calls in, we identify what call you have, and based on that, we'll route you to an operator that's certified in the products of ours that you have. So they're going to design it in Q1, develop it in Q2, and launch it in Q3. So it's this combination of launching it in Q3 with this training that gives us this remarkable improvement. So we can see that there's a cross-functional activity that we need to do in order to achieve success. And OKRs are trying to surface that quarterly objective and the cross-functional nature of work. But this needs to be combined with a slightly more thought-out meeting process. So most organizations don't have fewer meetings, but they have about 30% less time in meetings. Why? Because we're going to organize our meetings and make them more effective. We're going to understand our performance before we go in the meeting, as opposed to having that data dropped on us when we show up. So there are 3 types of meetings. The weekly or daily meeting, which is fairly tactical. We spend most of the time reviewing performance, maybe 20% taking action. And that happens every day, every week. Once a month, we're going to step back and do an operational meeting. Step back means, still look at performance, still look at action, but create a bunch of time to think out what are the implications of what we've seen. Is there a trend that would cause us to shift our manpower or how we sequence work and so forth? Every month, we go through that activity. A new meeting that typically doesn't happen is this quarterly strategic management meeting. In that meeting, what we're going to do is, again, take a look at the data, but now work on the business, not in the business. Sure, we'll take a bit of time looking at performance and implications, but most of the time is spent refining our strategy. Do we need to change our priorities? Do we need to change those objectives because we accomplished some things this quarter? So metaphorically, we're going to change that from, say, pink to purple, have a new strategy map and priorities, and run the next quarter with that new model. And again, modify if necessary. So this organization is effectively having 4 learning cycles where it used to have just 1. What this means is not only is it more agile in the marketplace, but if an event happens in the middle of a quarter, we can call this meeting and quickly and agile way react to it. Now, I want to be clear, OKRs don't solve all your operational problems, but they do solve a lot. And the key benefits we see are based on a lot of client research. This weekly focus on OKRs improves the team results by about 19% based on the clients we've surveyed. But what we also see is strategic alignment across the organization. So we're all pulling in the same direction. We see that there's way more clarity on the results that we're trying to achieve. And this is not just what we're trying to achieve, but who's going to do it, what exactly we're looking for, when we expect it done, and even why. How does it fit into strategic context, which allows us to problem solve better. It also allows us for very quick follow through as soon as performance issues occur. And that reduces the number of meetings because we don't have as many panic meetings anymore because the crises don't happen. And then the last common result we see is all about our activities get way more focused on the results. If we look at people's utilization rate, they go way up in terms of solving customer needs. Now, OKRs is part of the overall management system that you need as a leadership team. So the OKRs down here are just a portion of what you need to do. We need to start the strategy, figure out how our activities, our processes and projects line up to it, and then finally we can do our OKRs. Now, this same work is the backbone for other things that management needs to do, like figure out where we should be doing process improvement, figure out how we cascade the strategy across brands, locations, time zones, understand how our strategy and performance triggers risks and how we manage those, how it connects to our financial and business plans, and of course, how we manage people, both in terms of employee engagement, but rewards and compensation. So that's kind of the overall management system, and OKRs are a key portion of that. Hopefully this has been a useful overview for you. There are other videos in this series, or we urge you to drop by our website to learn more.